EA Cricket 2005. Our seventh entry is Cricket 2005 or EA Cricket 2005. This was HB Studios' third cricket game with EA Sports, released on 1st July, 2005. But maybe the scary thing for EA was hidden in the shadows. EA Sports' rival in cricket games Codemasters were also working on a new cricket game, Brian Lara Cricket 2005. It was a long time since Codemasters produced any cricket game, as their last cricket game was Brian Lara 99, released in December 1998, and I don't know why they decided to jump back in cricket gaming universe, but that's a story I'll tell you next. With Cricket 2005, EA tried to improve over Cricket 2004 by fixing the bugs which EA Cricket 2004 had and improving the graphics for EA Cricket 2005. EA also added new and polished bowling which had more depth and mechanics, so in short EA Cricket fixed all previous bugs, had better graphics and enjoyable bowling, and these are the all good things EA Cricket 2005 has. This game is far better than its sequel EA Cricket 2007 by miles, and it's also much harder than that game and even harder and in my opinion better than BigAnt Studios' Cricket 19 and Cricket 22. Once again, you can't hit every ball for boundaries, you can't always get ones and twos, and there's always a risk and reward thing when you hold down that shift button to go aerial route. While the intro plays, make sure you subscribe to Irrational Gamer, hit that like button and bell icon as well. Some great features from EA Cricket 2004 are still there, like confidence meter, but this time, the bowler also has the confidence meter and can bowl some seriously special deliveries like Dusra, Googly, etc. to stun the batsman. Yes, the AI is pretty dumb here as well, and you can easily get them out within no time. I didn't search for any exploits about this game yet. I was still able to bowl outside off stump with the default fielding, and AI batsman always tried to hit it towards the deep extra cover and easily gets caught by the fielder there. There are some tricks to bowl AI out, so if you want to play this game, just generate AI innings or play it against a human opponent. The AI is very aggressive, and when batting it's not easy to play through gaps, especially in power play. The singles are easy to take, but twos and threes are somewhat impossible to take because of very aggressive fielders and throws. I played maybe 50 matches, T20s and ODIs, but I was never able to run 3 runs. There are never any overthrows, the ball moves very fast from fielders to keeper. The trajectory and physics are a little better than its sequel though. There are edges, and maybe this is the first cricket game to have them, but sometimes they are very unrealistic, just like Ashes 2009/International Cricket 2010. Oh, and I shouldn't keep repeating this, but T20s, free hits, and DRS features are not present in this game or the later one by EA, as those things were introduced after the year 2007. Between EA Cricket 2002, 2005, and 2007, Codemasters cricket games from 96 to 2007 and BigAnt Studios games from 2017 to 2022, I would recommend Cricket 2005 for sure. Brian Lara Cricket 2005. From here on, no games own licensed players and teams, but don't worry, you can download the roster files from Irrational Gamer. Brian Lara Cricket 2005 marks the 10th anniversary of this long-running series that was first released on the Sega Mega Drive way back in 1995. Making its comeback after 5 long years, also known as Ricky Ponting Cricket 2005 in Australia and New Zealand, is the game published by Codemasters and developed by Swordfish Studios. This game is a worthy addition to this series. The game features 3 modes: Exhibition, Tournament, and Challenge. In Exhibition mode, you can choose to play a one-day, test, or double-wicket game against a friend or the CPU. In Tournament mode, you can play real-life events like the ICC, International Cricket Council, World Cup, the ICC World 11 Series, ICC Champions Trophy, play a fictional tournament in Custom League, etc. In Challenge mode, you can choose a team and go against a World 11 team or rewrite the history of cricket as we know it. What happens is, in this mode is that you will be given a famous match from history, and then you can choose whether you want to repeat history by achieving the same result as the match did when it was really played, or change the course of history by changing the outcome of the match. For example, you can play the first test that gave birth to the famous Ashes Test series between England and Australia and decide the outcome of the game. In the original game that was played in 1882, Australia won, so you can also play as Australia and try to win the game again, or play as England and try to defeat Australia. One cool effect that has been added to this mode is that when you're playing these old matches, the graphics turn to black and white and lines start appearing on the screen, giving you an impression that you are really watching and playing the match on an old TV. You can also practice your bowling or batting in the nets. Unfortunately, there is no tutorial mode in this game, so you will have to discover all the different batting shots and balls that you can bowl in the nets or while playing a match. You can also check out your unlocks and rewards in the pavilion. Unlocks in the game include classic players like Sunil Gavaskar, Imran Khan, Ian Healy, etc., pictures from different matches and trophies. All of this content can be unlocked by playing the challenge and tournament modes and breaking cricketing records held by different players. Sadly, the game has no online modes whatsoever, so don't expect to play matches against cricket fans from around the world. There is also a wealth of customization options in the game. You can choose how many overs will be bowled in a match, the time of the match, the weather, the pitch, the color of the ball, etc. For the match itself, you can choose one of the 14 existing teams or create your own squad. While creating your own squad, you can add any player you like regardless of their country. Hardcore cricket fans will love this option, as this gives them a chance to create their own dream team. The best thing about the game has to be its gameplay. It's fast and addictive. While batting, you can choose the direction of the shot by using the left analog stick and the type of shot using the face buttons. You can hit all around the ground, and almost every shot from the real thing like hooks, pulls, drives, etc. can be executed if your timing is perfect, because like in a real game of cricket where batting timing is everything. In bowling, again, the analog stick selects the direction in which the ball should move, and you can choose the type of delivery you want to bowl with the face buttons. Bouncers, yorkers, and slow deliveries, etc., all can be bowled. The graphics in this game are average, with stadiums resembling a little like their original counterparts. The crowd animation looks the same no matter where you are playing. Players look very little or nothing like the real ones after whom they have been modeled, which is pathetic really, because there are sports games like EA's FIFA Soccer series that laser skin players so the game can have a look as realistic as possible. I noticed that classic players like Wasim Akram were better modeled than current players like Abdul Razak. Plus, some of the animations of the players are really lame and players show no emotion or intelligence. A player will celebrate even when he takes a catch on a no ball. Also, don't expect to find any signature bowling styles or batting styles in this game, because there aren't any. All batsmen bat the same way and all bowlers bowl the same way, plus do the same actions. On the sound side, the game is somewhat better. All the batting shots sound nice, plus the bowl hitting the wickets when a batsman is bowled out sounds awesome. On the downside, appeals by different teams in the game all sound the same, plus crowds also sound the same no matter what country you choose to play in. The crowd will cheer every player that gets out and every six that is hit, regardless of the fact the home team is playing or a visiting team is playing. It would have been nice if there were some booing in the game when the visiting team was playing well and cheering for the home team most of the time. Thus, the atmosphere in the game leaves much to be desired. For the first time, Brian Lara Cricket features commentary, but that also ends up just being average. Commentary in the game is provided by cricketing greats like Ian Bishop, but it feels as if they were forced to do so. During matches, you won't hear any real excitement in their tone. Also, you will often hear them repeat the same dialogue and go on and on about something will be in no way related to the match being currently played. Lastly, though being an average in almost all aspects, this is a great game. That's because cricket fans don't have much of a choice when it comes to selecting a cricket game for their systems. With no competition from other cricket games out there. As in the beginning of part 1 of this video, I asked you if you want to prefer to play against human or AI? If you prefer playing against human opponent, it's all good, but if you want to play this against the AI, then you'll be amazed by the foolishness of your opponent, as they are some lifeless ragdolls who just hit the ball and don't even bother running for a single run. Yeah, the AI in this game is that dumb. It's either fully aggressive or fully defensive at all the times. They don't bother or try to steal ones and twos, but when they are in bad mood, they will just slog everything, which is very identical to EA Cricket 2007. I wonder if these developers were later hired by HB Studios. Well, that was a joke, but seriously, this is not the only issues with Brian Lara Cricket 2005, but when batting you can also hit every ball towards boundary and for 4s and 6s, very easily, even on hardest mode. There are also timing and confidence meters on bottom of screen to help you further in batting, but trust me, the worst is yet have to come. My main concern is offline gameplay with good AI, so I score this game. EA Cricket 2007. Release on November 14, 2006, and once again developed by HB Studio and published by EA Sports, Cricket 2007 is the last cricket game from EA till this year, 2022. I really don't know if EA will ever make another cricket game, but after playing EA Cricket 2004, I wish and beg EA for another cricket game. Cricket 2007 tried to improve over Cricket 2005, but trust me, it failed there. Cricket 2007 is a very easy game and is not good for even against a human opponent. All the hype you may have heard about this game where fans says, EA Cricket 2007 is hands down the best cricket game made ever, those are the kids who either didn't play any of previous cricket games from EA or they are way too hard for them. My main concerns with Cricket 07 are terrible and crazy AI who just gets out very cheaply or hit every ball for 6. Messy ball physics, like when the ball touches the bat it just goes for 6 when the shift key is held down. Ball travels way too fast towards the boundary line, making all the fielders useless. I know commentary in all other cricket games sucks, but this game takes it to next level, so if somehow you have to play this game and there's no other option, just turn off the commentary. The only good thing about this game that I can think of is music, OST, or track. A good walk ruined. Oh, hang on, that's the other one. The comforting sound of leather on willow, long shadows on cricket grounds, warm beer, invincible green suburbs, dog lovers and pools fillers, and, as George Orwell said, old maids bicycling to Holy Communion through the morning mist. And Freddie Flintoff going to the Prime Minister's house while shitfaced live on telly, and girls allowed playing at the 2020 final, which is easily the best thing that ever happened to the sport. Yep, cricket, the nation's favorite sport, last. But while cricket is still just about hanging on to the wave of popularity that engulfed it after England won the Ashes in 2005, EA's cricket is still just about hanging on to the Byzantine inaccessibility that stopped most people from enjoying the last one. Which means it's especially forbidding for people like me, whose dalliances with cricket are confined to a position on my primary school's cricket team, as scorer, and owning one of Graham Gooch's old bats, located under my stairs. See, Cricket 07 is pretty much business as usual for EA's sequel-making machinery. The company's evolutionary approach to making sequels means that the game is still probably only of interest to people who enjoy programming satellite navigation systems using a harpsichord. Well, people who enjoy programming air traffic control systems using bagpipes anyway, it is slightly different. Different, but still baffling when you fire the game up for the first time, because there's still no tutorial. Instead, there are, still, some practice nets, where they say helpful things like the ideal line for a fast bowler is on or just outside the off stump, or something about slips. Which actually isn't that helpful if your experience of cricket is confined to a position on your primary school's cricket team, as scorer, and owning one of Graham Gooch's old bats, located under your stairs. What does off stump even mean, and what's a slip? Sure, the game of cricket can get pretty complicated, and obviously I'm an idiot for not knowing this stuff, but would it have been so difficult to include a tutorial covering the basics of the game for those who might be interested in finding out how to play it? Tiger Woods doesn't require you to know a sand wedge from a 5-iron, and it's a better game because of it. Gears of War doesn't require you to know how to fix a suit of power armor. It's possible to talk about the complexity of cricket itself as if it's some sort of justification for developing a poor game, but internet games like stick cricket have shown that, ultimately, it's possible to boil the sport down to something totally straightforward and still fun. More significantly, Codemasters' Brian Lara series has shown that it's possible to produce a cricket game on consoles that's not totally inaccessible. It's not like EA hasn't tried to make Cricket 07 more appealing to the layman. The publisher has been making a lot of noise about its Century Stick, TMNR and copyright and all that sort of stuff, control system, for example. It's a groundbreaking control scheme that's supposed to simplify the art of batting. During EA's last trip to the crease, you had to remember the buttons for a bewildering number of possible shots, most of which were pointless apart from defensive strokes. Now, thanks to the Century Stick, TMNR and copyright and all that sort of stuff, control system, you just have to flick one or both analog sticks to select your shot, most of which are pointless apart from defensive strokes, if you have a dual stick pad, obviously. Otherwise, you'll be selecting your shots using the arrow keys. Certainly. You don't have to sit with the manual on your lap, like last time, but it's scant improvement if, as a cricketing neophyte, you don't know which shots to play, or when to play them. And the game mechanics themselves are still a bit of a number wine style mishmash of moving bars and things. Bowling pretty much consists of choosing a delivery style, like the one that sort of curls a bit, or one that bounces, and other types which presumably all have special names, then choosing your aim, then stopping a moving power bar before you end up bowling a no ball, which happens a lot more often than it does on telly. Batting consists of timing your shot and targeting at the moving, pulsing reticule that indicates where the bowler's aiming, before pressing some combination of the two analog sticks and hoping that the ball ends up not going near a fielder, because you don't quite understand how the aiming works or how fielding works, and there's no tutorial to tell you. It's hardly the heady, intoxicating rush of seeing some boozed-up cricketers on an open-topped bus. Obviously, EA's got all the proper player names and badges and stuff, and Freddy's on the cover, and there's music, but it's not very good. But the big new addition, for those who don't mind the lack of a tutorial or the number of defensive strokes you'll play, is the Ashes section. In addition to the full gamut of international and domestic, English and Australian, games and competitions, the Ashes has a menu entry all of its own. It allows you to play a one-off series or entire tour from last year or this year, but, more interestingly, it has a series of challenges based on the actual events of last summer's Ashes tour. So you might need to score 50 runs with Peterson, just like he did in real life or whatever. Which would be a really neat idea, if the game itself weren't so poor that you wouldn't want to bother. So for those kids out there who want to hit 6 sixes on 6 balls, this game is obviously for them. Brian Lara Cricket 2007. Codemasters' latest cricket effort is enjoyable but flawed in a number of ways, to the degree that the previous game is actually a better option, especially if you're mainly going to be playing alone. The 2005 edition lacks a few of the extra features found in this release, but it allowed you to play lengthy matches that mimicked real-life cricket. The aggressive and often stupid AI in 2007 makes this almost impossible. Played with a friend, Brian Lara International Cricket 2007 is good fun, but by no means good enough to take the trophy. Whilst I'm not blown away by Brian Lara International Cricket 2007, it is very entertaining. There are the makings here of an all-time classic, particularly in the ball physics and the depth of tactical core gameplay available here. The graphics and overlays in UI are pretty cool and the loading times are faster. However, for big cricket fans, this really is a must if you want to play against human opponent or online, particularly with the Cricket World Cup in full swing. Currently, this is a game split in two. On one hand, you have the really poor AI to play against in single player, which swiftly offers little or no challenge. However, the online component has to be one of the most enjoyable games I've played in years, and really doesn't too bad a job of reflecting the actual sport. Another addition to the game is the ability to bowl special and deceiving balls, just like EA Cricket 07. There are many little glitches, but they are blemishes. Unfortunately, I doubt the AI will receive the necessary improvements, so if you're buying this game, do so while the online facet at the forefront of your mind. I will recommend generating AI innings so you get a good total instead of 10 for all out. The bowling swings ridiculously, which help you in taking a lot of wickets, especially against middle and lower order and against weak teams. I will rate this game. Ashes Cricket 2009. Don't get me wrong, played online and locally with friends, there's plenty of fun to be had with Ashes Cricket 2009. And if that's what you want out of the game, then add a couple of points to the score below and go buy it. But as a studied game where you might want to play the full Ashes tournament against the AI, Ashes Cricket 2009 is lacking. Released on August 6, 2009, developed by Transmission Games for PC, consoles and Gusto Games for Wii and published by Codemasters and Atari, Ashes Cricket 2009 was praised by many cricketing fans. Let's talk about some good things of Ashes Cricket 2009: impressive broadcast-alike camera angles, cinematic replays, improved AI, great graphics, and yeah, finally you can play the shot in 360 direction, and not just that, but you don't need a dedicated controller to play 360 shots, you can do that easily with the keyboard arrow keys. Codemasters would have made a killer cricket game if they had continued. BigAnt Studios has a lot to learn from this game, to be honest. I mean, EA Cricket don't have bad camera angles either, but in Ashes Cricket 2009 and International Cricket 2010, Codemasters' camera angles were phenomenal. The only problems I had with this game were glitchy fielders who drops the ball after catching it for no reason. The only way you can get wickets are caught or bowled, as the game was later patched silently to avoid helping pirates, as cricket games are mostly pirated in subcontinents like India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. LBWs are not present on non-patched game. Also, there is an annoying AI runout bug, which was fixed in the sequel and patches. Choosing the hard difficulty and mistiming the ball is either an inside edge or outside, and they look very unreal. Unlike other cricket games that too easily devolve into hitting boundaries off every ball, Ashes Cricket 09 encourages and rewards proper tactical play. It's clear that a lot of effort has gone into making this game relatively authentic, so cricket diehards shouldn't have too much to whine about. The controls are simple to use for batting, bowling, and fielding. The stadiums are well presented. Commentary from Jonathan Agnew is great, accessible but nuanced gameplay, high-resolution graphics and smooth frame rate, intricate batting mechanics, great training mode, revamped and polished bowling mechanics, confidence system is great. Bad things: inconsistent difficulty scaling against the CPU, fielding bugs and glitches ruin chances of wickets, offline cooperative and competitive multiplayer scrapped. Bad optimization, steep learning curve can tick off casual players, sloppy animation. So, all in all, it's far better than all previous Codemasters games. Don't worry, I will rank all games in the end of next part. International Cricket 2010. International Cricket 2010 is Codemasters' latest cricket simulation video game and the last cricket game from Codemasters till this year, 2022, for the PS3 and Xbox 360. Yeah, it was not released on PC for the sake of piracy, but you can play this on PC using Xbox 360 emulator Xenia now. It follows Codemasters' Ashes Cricket 2009, released in August last year, and packs in a few twists to the oh-so-dull game of cricket. This time around, it's Trickstar Games brought on board for the project, and the developer does not disappoint. International Cricket 2010 features a whole bunch of stuff, including unlockable extras and 16 international teams, although we'll dabble on their hilarity a little later. The game also has the official teams of England and Australia, and a total of 21 stadiums, with the Dhaka, Grenada, and Port Elizabeth stadiums unlocked upon completion of the batting, bowling, and fielding lessons respectively. Like in any cricket game, you must master the three factions: batting, bowling, and fielding. The main part of fielding the game focuses on is catching, and becoming excellent at fielding means you have to get it spot on when a catch is coming your way. A reticule appears around the ball and cycles in color. You must press to catch when it turns green for a sure wicket. Apart from this, fielding is rather bland. When playing single player, the computer rarely opens up a chance for you to pick up a wicket by means of run out. Finally, we have no ball free hits in a cricket video game now. You can practice your skills via the game's extensive tutorials for basic and advanced batting, bowling, and fielding, but you needn't if you've already picked up the essentials playing numerous other cricket titles. Just knowing the basics won't be enough though. And in a match, you won't be able to smash every ball to the boundary or bowl the same delivery to a batsman every time. You must also master the art of sending a player's confidence level skyrocketing if you want to intimidate opponents and really take control of a cricket match. Variation is the name of the game here. And you have to keep your opponents always guessing. The over-the-shoulder camera angle is an interesting new feature, but you can easily switch it out for the broadcast-style view if you want. With the action cam, though, bowling becomes a little tricky and it is difficult to judge where exactly the ball will end up. An on-screen gauge appears as you run up, determining how well a ball is bowled. There's nothing more frustrating than low confidence levels of a bowler. And it becomes really difficult to get out of a slump and take a wicket in such a case. Needless to say, cleverly switching around bowling strategy is crucial. While batting, you have several options. You can either play off the front foot or the back foot to counter tricky bowlers, cutting the ball into space for a quick single or smashing one home to the boundary. You can even get a player to advance towards the bowler, hammering a delivery all the way into the stands. Timing is crucial in any type of shot you play, and with wrong timing and wrong footwork comes the hugely increased possibility of getting caught or bowled out. I have very less complaints with this game. Number 1, the hard difficulty is just about timing the ball with unrealistic edges. Number 2, you can't run out AI. And number 3, AI looks very lifeless, like they only react in cutscenes, and when playing the shots, after playing the shots, they just become the idols. Here's what's comical about International Cricket 2010. The game is officially licensed by the England and Wales Cricket Board and Cricket Australia, and so features official players from the English and Australian teams. But players from other countries are almost hilariously represented. The Indian team, for example, includes the players Sumit Tendulkar, Bhairani Sehwag, Gaurang Gambhir, Ishwar Sinhar, and Mahata Dobby. But aside from the discrepancy in name and appearance of most of the players in the game, but you can find the real names roster file for download available here on Irrational Gamer as well. International Cricket 2010 does provide a rather enthusiastic cricketing experience. What's great about International Cricket 2010 is that you can save your game at any time. This is a good feature, especially when you choose to play a long, arduous test match. In the game, several types of cricket matches are available to choose from, including ODIs, 20-over matches, test matches, and tournaments. If a quick game of cricket is all you desire, then the ODIs and 20-over matches should do. You can even choose much shorter 5-over matches. But if you are an ardent fan of all things cricket and all things old, then you can choose to play lengthy test matches. What the game lacks is a good stats system. And it is very hard to fully keep track of the goings-on in a match. Sometimes, the umpires make horrendous calls on LBWs when the Hawkeye reveals the obvious fate of the ball. And we've been on the short end of that sticky wicket many a time. International Cricket 2010 is a nice game, and is definitely well worth it for anyone who loves cricket video games. The game introduces a few niceties and makes for a very engaging experience, especially when playing along with a friend. Solo gameplay can get dull, and also there is no DRS option in this game, as at that time it wasn't implemented. And the game leaves you asking for many obvious options. Considering all the additions though, International Cricket 2010 should make a good pickup for any ardent fan of the sport, if the largely unlicensed material can be overlooked. The game of cricket just got a tad bit more interesting, chaps. Anyone?